Today we are going to talk about 3 powerful evidence-based mindset shifts to help you stop overthinking so that you can finally break free from that mental loop and feel more calm and in control. Now this video was requested by one of you guys, and as a retired professional overthinker, I felt like I had a lot to say about the matter. Because just 3 or 4 years ago, I used to overthink everything, from simple conversations and what I should have said in a certain situation to decisions, big or small, and most of all, I would obsessively ruminate and worry about what will happen in the future. But over the past few years, I have discovered simple yet powerful tools that have helped stop me from falling back into that loop. And in this video, I would like to share what worked for me and how you can apply these same strategies to your own life. First, let's try to understand why we overthink in the first place, because once we understand something, it gives us more control over it. Overthinking comes from our brain's desire to protect us, whether from making mistakes, being unprepared, or dealing with uncertainty. So at its core, basically overthinking is rooted in fear. And there is this core belief that the more I think about a problem, the closer I will get to a solution. Whereas in reality, the only thing you are getting closer to is losing your sanity. Now, this fear manifests mainly in 3 ways. 1, fear of the unknown, because our brains are wired to anticipate potential threats. So our minds will go into overdrive trying to predict and anticipate outcomes. Number 2, perfectionism, when you set high standards for yourself for what you consider to be not a failure. So you replay scenarios in your head, critiquing what you have said or done, and planning how you could perfect it next time. Then number 3 is past experiences. If you have been hurt before, then you might overanalyze situations to try to protect yourself from future hurt or pain. Because if you can anticipate every possible outcome, then maybe you can prevent repeating the past. Now, all of this is great and easy to understand, but why does it feel like an endless loop we are stuck into, even though logically we understand why it happens and in theory we can do something to stop it? Well, the answer lies in neuroscience and how your brain functions. The more you practice something, the faster the neural pathways associated with that thing become, thanks to something called neuroplasticity, which is our brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself to form new neural connections throughout our life. So when we repeat a particular thought or pattern of behavior, we are essentially training our brain to make that pathway stronger and faster and more efficient. So if you think about London's black cab drivers, what's so special about them? They have undergone complex training and they have memorized the routes of the city to get you to your destination in the shortest amount of time possible. But you know what else is special about them? They have a larger hippocampus, as a study in 2000 has revealed, which is basically the area in the brain involved in spatial navigation. This pretty much shows that training your brain in a certain area can lead to physical changes in the brain, which means that if overthinking becomes a frequent habit, then your brain becomes more efficient at overthinking. The more you practice this mental behavior, the faster and more automatic it becomes, so that when you come across something that remotely resembles what triggers it for you, you quickly get sucked into this cycle. And that's the dangerous thing about overthinking. If you think about the cost associated with it, from taking your peace of mind, causing you excessive worry, unable to sleep, unable to focus, and causing tremendous strain on your relationships. But the good news is, neuroplasticity also means that these patterns are not set in stone and we can change them. Just like we can train our brains to overthink, we can also train them to adopt healthier thought processes. So let's dive into 3 strategies that have worked for me. The first one is get out of your head. Whether by going to a walk, reading, or talking to a friend, even about something that is completely unrelated to the thing that you're obsessing over. This is a very simple yet very powerful strategy. As you might have noticed, when you take some distance from a problem, it doesn't seem as grave as it initially was. And there is a reason for that. When we indulge in overthinking, the fear center in our brain called the amygdala is quick to respond. And under conditions of stress and fear, the part of our brain involved in rational thinking, decision-making, and focus, called the prefrontal cortex, shuts down. So activities that calm down your stress hormones and re-engage the rational part of your brain and help you regain focus, help break down the negative cycle of overthinking. And if you do it enough times, you train your brain to adapt these healthier responses more automatically, so that it becomes the default mode of action whenever you are faced with a situation that would ordinarily trigger your overthinking. The second strategy is diversify. Whatever you are pouring your energy into, you are giving it too much attention. But in order to have a healthy, balanced life, you need to spread your attention over several aspects that excite you and bring you happiness. You might be thinking that once I get thing X or Y, or once I overcome this challenge or that, I will be happy and my mind will be at peace. But that is sadly not the case. There will always be challenges in your life in one shape or form. As you might have noticed, once you fix one aspect of your life, another pops up that requires energy and attention. And the moments in life where everything is working peacefully and harmoniously and there are no problems at all are extremely rare and brief. So you might as well just embrace that and not get too attached to a certain outcome or a certain thing. Physics dictates that entropy must keep increasing, and so is the chaos in our lives. And the point maybe is just not to eliminate chaos completely, but to adapt and grow continuously with it. Then the third strategy is challenge it. Thoughts are not facts. They are simply ideas that exist and which you chose to identify with at a certain moment in time. Overthinking often involves negative or distorted thinking patterns like catastrophizing or expecting the worst, or black and white thinking, just seeing things as all good or all bad. But when you learn to challenge the conclusions that your overthinking outputs, you are basically training your brain not to default to assuming that they are proven facts. So you can simply ask yourself the question, what evidence do I have that supports this conclusion? Or what would I say to a friend who is thinking this way? Sometimes writing it all down also helps in identifying patterns and addressing them more directly. Now, speaking of neuroplasticity and healthier habits, if you are interested, you can check out this video that I made about very simple habits that take literally no time and which save you a lot of time in the long run. And I'll see you next time.